You always hear people say that they're stuck, they feel stuck, but stuck is not a real thing. Stuck does not actually exist. Energy is always moving, the only constant is change. There's no such thing as stuck. What it is that you have beliefs in your subconscious that are creating more of the same, more and more of the same type of experiences, the same type of people in your life, the same type of relationships, the same job experience. Like it just creates more of the same. And that gives you this feeling of stuckness because it's like, I'm having all of these similar experiences no matter what I do. It is because of the beliefs that are in your subconscious mind. Let's embrace a simple truth. The power to shape your reality lies within you. This is your Human Experience Podcast. Welcome to season 2 of your Human Experience Podcast. Season 2, the theme of season 2 is radical self love. Now, I recommend that you listen to this series in chronological order. Think of it as a how to guide. And so, if you're jumping in on episode 4 or 5, please go and begin from episode 1 just so you gain the most from this series. Okay? Without further ado, let's get into the episode. Greetings, my beautiful humans. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day it is for you listening. I am recording this in the afternoon. Um, if you're viewing this on YouTube, I'm not on camera today because I just really don't want to be. I am transitioning from luteal to menstruation today, and that's kind of like my energy. I feel like I can describe my energy by saying that alone. So I'm just on the couch under the blankets, drinking some burdock root tea. And this morning I did a really nice yoga for period session. And then I listened to some feel good reggae music while I was in the shower and getting dressed. And then I had a nice meditation, and I've just been writing today. And now I am here with you recording this episode. Okay, in today's episode, we're going to get into reflections, shadow work, self acceptance, self forgiveness, and forgiveness of others because you cannot shift, change, or transmute what you do not first acknowledge and accept. So let's begin with reflections. In the previous episode, I shared with you that what is on the inside is a reflection of what is on the outside. And what is on the outside is a reflection of what is on the inside. This means that the things that you are triggered by are reflecting to you something that's happening in your internal world, something that exists in your internal world. If it did not exist within you, it would not impact your experiences or your reality. And so this is proven by the simple fact that two people can experience the same exact experience at the same exact time and feel completely different about it and hold two different perspectives about it. So, say you go to lunch with a friend and the waiter comes, you're chatting with the waiter greets you, you're chatting, tells you about the offers and so on, and then the waiter leaves. And then your friend is like, oh my God, did you hear what they said? That was so offensive. And then you're like, huh? What are you even talking about? It's because the waiter reflected back to your friend a belief that they hold about themselves or about the world. And so they were triggered by this thing that the person said, but it was a non-issue for you because you don't share that belief, whatever that belief is. And so it was not even like a factor in your experience. Everyone has different reflections. We all perceive and engage with the world differently. is how siblings are able to grow up so differently because we all have different reflections. Now, your body is made of energy. This is not woo woo sorry, this is not woo woo spirit talk, spirituality talk. This is science. Science says that all matter, your body included, is made of energy, is made of vibrating subatomic particles, meaning vibrating energy. And the rate in which energy vibrates determines its frequency. This is important because the way that our energy based universe operates is that energies vibrating at similar frequencies are attracted to one another. And because we are in an energy based, energy driven universe, consciousness is also energy, and therefore our thoughts and beliefs are all energy. Consequently, if you want your experiences to change, if you want your circumstances, your reality to change, if you want how you feel to change, you need to shift from the inside by getting to know intimately your internal world. This brings us to the shadow. The shadow is your ego's favoritist tool because your shadow is where the parts of yourself that were rejected or shamed or felt unlovable in childhood, it's where it lives now, it's where it exists now. And most people live their entire life without ever knowing what's in their shadow, which means that most people live their life, their entire life, without wholly and completely loving themselves. And they live their entire life running from their triggers, fighting against their triggers, blaming other people, when really, if you understand reflections, you will be thanking the people who trigger you for shining a light on the parts of yourself that you've hidden and suppressed for so long and that live so far and so deep within you that you likely don't even know it exists, or you might have some inkling but don't know the full depths of it. Like, you will be thanking those people who trigger you for shining a light on the parts of yourself that are calling to be loved by you. An example of this is if you find that in adulthood, you often feel abandoned by others, especially in your romantic relationships, it is likely that you experienced some form of abandonment as a child. Now, the things, the behaviors, the qualities, the aspects about you that you felt caused you to be abandoned is what now exists in your shadow. It is also likely that you have since adopted a belief and a pattern of behavior that you need to please others in order to not be abandoned by them. One of the really cool things about reflections is that it is super ironic in that because you felt abandoned as a child and started people pleasing as a coping mechanism, by people pleasing and by suppressing aspects of yourself, you in turn abandoned yourself. Like, it's not funny, but it's ironic, right? So you may be wondering, why is it important to know what's in the shadow? Like, it's dead and buried. I don't want to wake up the dead. That seems problematic. I don't think it's necessary. I can just stop people pleasing and all will be well. And I hear you. I really do. But how can you wholly love yourself if you do not know and love all of you? This series is about radical self love. If that is the goal, then it is important to know and love all of you. And maybe you should ask yourself, what it is that you are afraid of. Because if you are afraid to stir up old feelings within you, it is likely that the feelings, the beliefs, and the memories associated with those attributes that are in your shadow are severely impacting your present reality. Because if you are afraid to see it, if you are afraid to engage with it, it is still an active belief within you. And what did we learn about beliefs? Beliefs are energy, beliefs carry frequencies, beliefs attract our experiences and realities to us. People, you always hear people say that they're stuck, they feel stuck, but stuck is not a real thing. Stuck does not actually exist. Energy is always moving, the only constant is change. There's no such thing as stuck. What it is that you have beliefs in your subconscious that are creating more of the same, more and more of the same type of experiences, the same type of people in your life, the same type of relationships, the same job experience. Like it just creates more of the same. And that gives you this feeling of stuckness because it's like, I'm having all of these similar experiences no matter what I do. It is because of the beliefs that are in your subconscious mind. So, shadow work is the practice of bringing your shadow aspects into the light, into your conscious awareness. Because the shadow lives in your subconscious and, like, probably buried somewhere deep in the depths of your subconscious mind. So, it's bringing your shadow aspects into the light, accepting those parts of yourself, forgiving yourself and others who are involved for their role in what's in your shadow. And then you can begin to release whatever beliefs or qualities or aspects that you feel are no longer serving you. I have an exercise for you. The next time that you feel triggered, I want you to go within. I want you to ask yourself, what do I believe to be true about this person, about this experience, about myself? What perspective do I hold? What within me is causing me to feel triggered by this? And begin reflecting, reflections, begin reflecting and look internally. Um, and just see what comes up. Don't overthink it. Don't try to go too deep, but just see what comes up for you. I want you to begin to observe your internal world, observe your emotions, observe your thought patterns, because we're doing this because we want to care about how we feel, or because we care about how we feel, and we want to begin to shift the way that we feel and experience this human experience because we want to enjoy the journey, right? So, this is why we're doing this. So, just begin observing so that you can get to know yourself. You can observe your patterns and ways of thinking. Just begin to not look externally at what other people are doing, but look internally at what is coming up for you. Another super cool thing about reflections is that it's also showing you what's possible for you, where you have desires within you, and not only desires, but capabilities within you and capacity within you. And it's why jealousy is not a bad thing. I think the way that you respond, react, behave when you're jealous, now that could be undesirable, but the feeling of jealousy is not a bad thing because it's showing you what's possible for you. So, if, for instance, you feel some kind of jealousy when you watch someone on social media with all this money, living a lavish lifestyle, and you feel jealous and you say something or think like negative thoughts about them, it is likely that they're showing you that you have some sort of similar desire. You may not necessarily want to be an influencer, but maybe having the capacity to attract money in a way outside of the way that you've been creating money. For instance, if you work a 9 to 5 and you see people living these lavish lifestyles and they're just creating content, in your mind they're like, what, they're just creating content and that's the life that they're living. It doesn't mean that you necessarily want to be a content creator, but it could be that something about their lifestyle is something you desire. And not only do you desire it, but it is possible for you, because you would not be jealous about anything, and you would not be triggered by anything that is not within you. If something is causing a feeling of jealousy within you, if you find yourself saying anything negative about someone else or judging other people, it could be one or two things or a combination. It could be that you're looking at where you're judging yourself, but also there's something about what they're doing or what they have or who they're being that you have the capacity to be, do, or have within yourself as well. So if you see someone like a great piano player and they're just so passionate and so in flow state when they're playing and it's just so magical, it may not be that you want to be a grand piano player, but it means that you have the capacity to find your own passion, something that you excel at, something that you are great at. You have that within you. So it's to figure out what that thing for you is. And you would not want anything that you do not have the capacity to be, do, or have. It's just no, it doesn't, because the way that you are built, your makeup is very specific. Your soul chose everything about you to align with your desires, to align with your purpose. And so, if there's anything that you want that is from like a true desire, like the desire comes from a place of truth within you, not some sort of superficial desire, even though you can have that if you want it, but a desire that comes from like a soul aligned place. You have the capacity within you to achieve it, to be, do, or have it. So that's another really amazing thing about reflections. It reflects to you so much of what is in your internal world, from the things that might be hidden in your shadow to desires, which also can live in the shadow, because you may feel ashamed about the things that you want. You may have felt ashamed about the things that you've wanted growing up. So, yes. All right. I'll talk to you soon. See you in the next episode.